Well, hello. It's it's been a little bit, hasn't it? In fact, it's been quite a little while. In fact, my last upload was February 19th last year, um, which is like almost exactly a full year from today. Um, a little longer. And it was just a small 20-second clip of a WWE game that I was playing. Before that, my last actual full video was July 31st, 2018, which is ridiculously far away. It's almost 2 years ago. And I didn't even technically film anything with a camera. That was all audio. That was the worst movie ever made video that I made. Which, if you are interested in what the worst movie ever made was, you should go check that out. My last actually filmed video using a camera setup and everything was October 10th. No. Yes. Sorry. I've got notes. October 10th, 2017. And that was the final and official format of In the Nicks of Time, which was the short film series that I've been working on off and on for years now. But not in a continuous fashion, and not in continuity wise. It doesn't matter if you watch them in order or anything like that. They're just little offhand comedic things that I've done. In my mind, it kind of boggles me a little bit that I haven't done anything for that long. But at the same time, there's been a lot going on in my life. And that's why I'm here right now, talking to you. So what's happened in that time frame since 2017? Well, around the time that I was filming in that episode of In the Nicks of Time, the fourth one, we were actually in the process of moving. There's a few shots that you can see in that episode where I think the kitchen looks very barren. A lot of that was already packed up. So we were really close to moving around that time, actually. And I moved from there, which was a city called Goodlettsville, which is close to Nashville, Tennessee, of course. You can tell from the southern accent that I've got. It's a little bit there. We moved from there to actually my hometown, where I was actually born, which was Portland, Tennessee, strawberry capital of Tennessee. I'm a little proud of that. But basically, I at the time was living with my stepmother and her husband and my brother. So we all kind of moved in together. It was a smaller house though, so that's one of the things that kind of kept me from filming stuff, basically, because I don't like to do this sort of thing for an immediate audience. Like if someone was sitting on the couch right now, I'd be a little more nervous. I can't explain it. It's just how I am. Filming on camera is different than being on stage, so to speak. I've done both. I still do both. Less theater, more actual film. But it's just something inside of me that just, I don't know, it's hard for me to get past that. Which is why I'm doing this, right now, while I'm home alone. Speaking of which, I'm not currently in Portland, Tennessee. I've actually moved again. I'm now living in, I'm going to say Nashville. It's technically Donaldson. But to anyone not in the Nashville area, it's Nashville. I'm living in the capital. And in that time frame, I've actually moved around a few jobs. My longest job, I worked at a comic slash record slash toy store, which was basically my dream job. Um, I worked at a place called The Great Escape. We'll always still represent them. I still shop there because it's an amazing store. And if you're in the Nashville area, it's definitely one of the staples to check out. We have actually 5 locations, and now I feel like this is a commercial for Great Escape for a moment. There's 5 locations, 2 in Nashville. There's one in the Madison area, which is the one I worked at. One on Charlotte Avenue. There's actually one in Murfreesboro, and there are 2 in Kentucky. One in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and one in Louisville, Kentucky. Still, a small business, locally owned. But it's a great place to shop for, collectibles, toys, movies, video games, anything nerdy of that nature. It's a place to check out. I had to leave that job just simply because of pay. It's tough getting by on a retail job like that if you don't have something on the side. And I unfortunately did not have anything on the side at that time. So I actually had to leave there, and at the time I was leaving, I did have another job lined up because, rule number 1 of adulthood, well, probably not rule number 1, but one of the top rules. If you're going to leave a job, make sure you already have something lined up. Unfortunately, the thing I had lined up fell through. So that left me in a little bit of a predicament for a little bit. Searching for, the right job, for the right pay. And eventually I just wound up taking a warehouse factory job because, they pay a lot. However, that was incredibly labor intensive, and not to say that I'm the laziest individual in the world, because I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of, I'm on the fence of laziness, but I get stuff done. That was the most torturous and awful job I've ever had in my life. And if you like that sort of thing, more power to you. But I was overlooked as far as, anybody having a personality. Everyone was just a robot working there. And you've got to be able to, I guess turn your brain off for that sort of thing. That's not my style. If I can't, at least have somewhat of a conversation with someone passing by, I'm not going to enjoy the time working there. So then I actually took a job as a pizza delivery guy. And that was probably one of the most interesting jobs I've ever had in my life. The literal only downside of that was driving my car into the ground. Not literally, but, I drove so many miles working that job that eventually my car just quit. And it just couldn't take anymore. So, then I was stuck for the longest time, and I actually left the pizza delivery job to go back to Great Escape. Just because that, I didn't burn any bridges there, and like I said, it was one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in my whole life. So I went back there, and for a little while that was tough because, I didn't have transportation, and then eventually I did get a new car, and then around that time, after I've gotten actual transportation, I actually got into a relationship. And, I don't normally talk about these sort of things, but it's pretty important because that relationship actually led into me getting married this year. I know, it's crazy to think that, but I'm really happy with the situation that I'm in right now. And, of course, I love my fiancée, and I just can't wait, to spend the rest of my life with her. And it's not something that I normally gush about on camera or anything like that. It's not even something that I'm gonna talk about too much, but it's a very important part of my life, and it had to be brought up into where I've been. So there's that, I suppose. One of the last things that I'll touch on, which is one of the more recent things, is for about 8 years now, I've been a smoker. So I'm actually trying to quit that. And one of the reasons that I've picked up this camera and tried to, basically get more into this is to have a hobby, to take up some time. So I want to focus more on that and try and get through, kind of a terrible habit, and I'm trying to get out of that. And I've been good. I've gone almost, it's not a huge milestone, but almost 7 days, completely cigarette free, feeling better. It's a little tough sometimes. There's a couple cravings, but for the most part, it's not that bad. So what's changed for the immediate present? First off, new camera. This is a Canon T7. I figured, I wanted to get a little into photography. It'd be nice to, take some decent pictures, and it could be argued, phones nowadays are, pretty good, but I got a really great deal on a Canon T7 bundle. They were having, big sale on it, so I figured I'd go ahead and bite the bullet, buy a DSLR, because it's something that I've always wanted to own. Because I bought the camera, there's new things that have changed in the way I'm filming. For one, there's a light right above the camera, kind of keeps this highlighted. I've actually just got a lamp on for some backlight. It's not much. I just thought it might add a little, glow behind me. And I'm looking over here because the Canon T7 does not have a flip-out screen, so I can't exactly, just look like that and look into the camera. I have to look over here on this side to look at my TV that I've gotten hooked up to the camera, instead of, buying a monitor, because I didn't see the point of buying a monitor right now when I've got a perfectly good HDMI cable that I can use for the TV. And the TV's right there where I'm going to be filming anyway, so it doesn't matter. Regardless. So, and on top of the lighting, I also got a brand new tripod, and I decided to splurge a little bit on that. Spent about $60 on that, just because most of the ones I've had in the past were, a little cheap, like $15, $20 ones that I bought at like Walmart or Best Buy or something like that. Not to say the Best Buy and Walmart don't have good tripods. Well, Walmart probably not as much. I got this $60 one at Best Buy actually. Sunpack 7000 TM. You'll see the side of it there. So, just something fairly nice to work with for, the time being. So with all that being said, what's exactly in store for the future? There's definitely going to be a new channel format. Now, I'm going to, of course, keep all the stuff that's currently on there, because I can't tell you how many times that I've wanted to go back and look at something stupid that I made back in like 2008 or 2009, and it not being there because I deleted it, and now it's gone forever. So of course all of the old stuff is going to stay on there. I just feel it's good to go back and look at some things, back then. You get nostalgic, looking at things, but I've been basically making videos since I was 11, 12 years old. I remember my first camera was one that you hooked up to a VCR, and it was weird. It had like this little receiver that you hooked up, and when you hit record on the camera, it would start recording through the VCR like on the VHS tape. That one was weird, but it was kind of cool. But that limited to the living room basically. None of that footage exists anymore, by the way. Then I got, my own actual handheld mini DV camera. And I remember using that thing so much. And I'm sure there's so much footage out there on tape somewhere. Couldn't tell you where it is. Don't even know how to get it from that camera to my computer at the moment. Not only because, A, I don't have the tapes accessible, and B, I need some sort of capture software, and every time I've tried to do that, I don't know, I do something wrong. But regardless, that footage is somewhere. Maybe, eventually it'll get uploaded to the channel. Sort of a fun format thing. But as far as the content that is specifically going to be uploaded regularly onto the channel is more so I want to focus on just a few things. One, mostly being movie reviews, because I love watching movies, and I've already watched a lot of movies, so I feel like it would be fun to do reviews of movies, maybe, weird, obscure stuff that nobody's going to review, and just give an insight on some of these things, because I have a huge collection already, and it would be great to put that collection to use, because as many movies as I've seen, a lot of my collection I haven't even watched. So it'd be great to watch the movies and then do a review on them. Besides reviews, it would also be nice to still do, short film stuff, because that's always appealed to me. Just making fun little stupid, funny or scary short films. That's just something fun I like to do. And as well as focusing on those two things, I would like to focus on my actual website, which I remember making one, about a year or so ago. Using Wix, which is, again, I would highly recommend. Very easy to start a website on there. I got it all set up, and there's stuff uploaded on there, and of course, I'll always put the link to the website in the description, so you can go check that out. But I'd like to focus a little more on that, uploading stuff on there, and by uploading, I mean mostly the stuff that'll be uploaded onto that will be either the posts that are already on YouTube, or, photography stuff that I would like to do, or short stories if I ever get the time to write them. And also, there's a couple things that I will be dropping. I'm not going to do any more Let's Plays. It was kind of fun, but it's just not my thing. It's hard for me to really, focus on doing a Let's Play and filming, doing the audio, more power to anybody that can do that. It's just not something that I can do. I like to, kind of silently focus on games, and I can get frustrated, and I'm not that good at them. So, it's not something it's going to be, sorely missed doing. It's not like, oh, I've got to give up Let's Plays. No! And, it's something that I don't want to focus on as much. And, I probably won't focus much on the music aspect, which goes back to, the revamping of the channel. I'm going to have to make a new banner for the top of it, to take away, the video game Let's Plays and the music stuff, because I'm not really going to focus a lot on that. The only other thing that would be changed for the channel is I need to make a new channel trailer to reflect these changes that are going to be made. So I guess that'll get you caught up on everything that's been going on in my life, and everything that's in the current state, and everything that would come up in the near future. So, just stay with me. It's going to be fun. I'm pushing 30, so, you can't tell by my voice, but you can tell by my beard. Oh, yeah, see those gray hairs in there? Oh, yeah, and some of the top too, mostly in the beard, but, I'm kind of digging that, the salt and pepper look, So, yeah, just in conclusion, it's going to be fun. Kind of, doing some new stuff and some old stuff, and being in an entirely new environment, basically. So I hope that, those of you that have stuck around for so long, I thank you so much. And for new faces that are, coming aboard, welcome. And I hope you have as much fun watching this stuff as I have making it. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes, it's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, too bad, and good luck tales. the danger lurks behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto something.